Yeah, yes.
This says we're live. Hey, everybody, come on in. Come on in. Hope you're out there. Come on in. Is there anybody out there? Hello. We are live on Indie Volt Radio.
Yeah.
Come on in, folks. We're live on the YouTubes. We're live on the Facebook. In fact, I'll jump over there right now and make sure that my thing is public.
I can confirm we are live on radio.
Live on the radio. So. Live on Facebook. Open to the public. Marv has already shared us this morning. Marv in the house. Good morning, Marv.
Good morning, Marv.
He's busy at work working on his book. Jake Twister is in the house. Sends us an emoji of a waving. Hello. Jake, how you doing, Jake? Hope everything's well. It's probably late afternoon where you are. 2 o'clock or so.
A special quick announcement. You guys should know that today's show is brought to you in part by NyQuil. It's the only reason I'm here.
A fine product it is.
Heather Tucker is in the house. Heather, how are you?
Good morning.
Good to see you aboard. Good to know you're up this early in the morning. I'm sure the kids probably got you up. Empyrean Vol says, hey. Empyrean.
I just noticed there's a werewolf on Empyrean Vol's icon there.
Probably just for you.
I feel ways about werewolves and wendigos and from the south you call them wendigos.
Furry creatures?
Yeah.
Well, here in Michigan we get the wendigos. Yeah.
I just call those like never mind.
They're just yeah.
Don't say it.
Bigfoot.
Don't say it.
But yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I used to have there was a lady, a teacher of mine. Actually, she was like a teacher's aide, and she had the most unfortunate name ever. But but it was. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. If I get
it's not like the South Park teachers.
No, it was Miss Cox.
Okay.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
With an X, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah, with an X.
Yeah.
But I remember just being amazed as a child about how she was constructed, because she was very tall, and she wore her hair high.
Well, not to be mean, but everyone to you would look very tall.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was really small, but she and I remember I could not. I remember I used to think that she looked like Leghorn because of the way her hair set up high on her head and over. Okay. And I used to think she looked like him a lot, and then she had like this huge butt that she'd bump everybody with. I remember it was and I remember as I got older, I started thinking she was more like Bigfoot. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Harry and the Henderson's Bigfoot, not which by the way is frightening.
Hey, Indie Volter.
Russ, this new angle, man. I don't know if I can deal with it yet.
Marvi says I'm washing the dishes and listening to the show. Great panel as always. Let's have fun. Yes.
Yeah.
Have fun.
It's not permanent, Varian. It's not permanent.
Jake said NyQuil mixed with fish oil is the shit. Probably literally. Right. We want to remind everybody we are TVMADLSV.
Yes, exactly.
Even though it's Sunday morning, we still have Jake in the house. Jake to Marion. Everyone's high.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He meant tall.
Yeah. No, it's sometimes I wonder
remember, me and Varian are the only ones in this room that probably can look at each other at eye level.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure because when I talk about somebody, I do this. He did.
I just from this camera angle that you have, Varian, and because I've never met you in person, I never would have guessed that.
Oh yeah. I'm short. Yeah. I'm sure. I'm growing sideways though to make compensate for it. Take up as much room as I can.
I'm 6'3", so.
Oh, that.
See, I would never imagine that of you, Roland. I figured you were, right about average height. 6'3".
6'3" is average to me.
Probably someone else I found out was pretty tall was Luke Stone.
Varian's hat adds 4 inches.
Yeah. That's why I keep that big hair.
I made a character lineup, and I'm like going, damn, even my own characters are taller than me.
And you draw furry animals.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
and they're still taller than me.
Exactly.
I was 6'3" in the 80s, and then I lost my hair.
And now you're shrinking ever since then.
Ever since I lost my hair. Yeah.
Had one of those punk spiky things.
Yeah, like all over the place. It turned into a mullet. You know how it is.
Yeah, we were looking at some old pictures yesterday of Guy Davis that used to draw the Realm. When we first met him, he had orange spiked hair.
He used to have
that went out a good 6 to 8 inches. Yeah,
I remember that. I remember meeting him and going, "What the heck is on that guy's head?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to try to keep like an afro or some type of like large hair going on. Didn't work. Started calling me out on it.
Oh well. Anyway, wow. Sounds Miss Cox sounds like my dad's what? Cousin. Okay. So let me splice some Nordic genes and mail you some.
Yeah.
I hear DNA fertilizing will be more than reproductive.
I seen a commercial of it. It was a funny commercial. It was a parody commercial, but the guy says it was for to buy DNA, and the guy says, "I have strong swims, and they can be yours." So,
yeah, strong swims. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, everybody, you're listening to the Sunday Funnies program for December 13th, 2020. We're going to run the opening and get right into things. So here's the opening. Hang on, everyone. Hey, everybody.
Finally, a Christmas film.
A Christmas film, yes.
Just throw that one in there.
There we go. You are listening to Sunday Funnies for December 13th, 2020. I'm your host, Randy Zimmerman. I have 2 co-hosts this morning. I have Mr. Varian Grant and Daphne Lage are here with me. And as special guests today, we have Mr. Russ Leach and Mr. Roland Mann, who got up early this morning and dressed for the season. Yes, ho, ho, ho. Absolutely. Varian, introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Varian Grant, founder of Indie Vault Media, LLC. Started making comics back in 2008. I love comics. That's what I keep telling myself. Every time I read CBR, I love comics.
Stop reading CBR.
Don't read that stuff. It's not good for you.
It's not good for you at all.
Don't do that.
I started making comics back in 2008. I'm a father, a husband, a comic artist, comic writer, comic publisher, all that stuff. Always a reluctant taxpayer, especially yesterday when I noticed that taxation is theft, by the way. It's theft. And also a guy that's not ashamed to admit, we were talking about height earlier, that his wife is taller than him.
Wow.
There you go. At least as of 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
So not ashamed to admit. That's why when she wears heels, and she wears big heels.
Especially when she wears heels.
Yeah, it's downright comical. Daphne, your turn.
Okay.
Daphne, introduce yourself. Yeah.
Yes, hello. My name is Daphne, and I am a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I am the artist of the funny animal fantasy comics Tall Tales and the upcoming fantasy drama Ego Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, premiering on Kickstarter January 4th, 2021. You can check out my work and sign up for updates at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS.com, where you can also read the first 5 issues of Ego Raven for free. And you can check out my YouTube channel at Daphne Lage, Lage Art.
Sweet. January 4th is coming at you like a
really, it felt like
steamroller, isn't it?
So long, and now it's like, oh my god, it's like not even. It's like 2 weeks away.
Scary.
You gotta be excited though. I mean, it's. I mean, you know, you're gonna get a chance to turn your hair gray again by worrying about a campaign.
but
add a few more years to your looks. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I've scheduled like 8 of these for 2021.
There you go.
I have
Wow.
a full year.
Well,
impressive.
you know, what can we say?
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
We can say Russ Leach is here whenever he's not reading scripts for cartoons there.
Yeah. I'm reading away. Do you know what I noticed? The first book that came up was that a Star-Lord.
Oh goodness!
That sure was.
In the
Yes,
intro.
it was.
Yeah. I had that book. That was a great book.
I still got that book.
You still have it? Oh,
I still do. I kept
was-
all of my Star-Lords because they are awesome.
they are brilliant. They are brilliant. Unfortunately, they went down too early and got sucked up by 2000 AD.
Yeah, they did.
But they did keep some of the great characters, which is really good.
That's how I discovered Carlos Esquera.
Oh
So,
yeah, what a man!
Oh, my
what an
goodness.
artist!
what an
Yeah.
amazing talent.
Yeah, that was so cool. That was
Very
it was one of my
insane.
favorites. Oh God!
I know. I heard Star Lord, and I thought, well, how interesting, how poignant, how topical.
It's just because you were talking about.
We're talking about another Star Lord, don't we?
yeah.
Whole different.
Yeah, it took me a little bit to catch that too.
It's a whole different Star Lord. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
English.
whole different.
English
Although he wore a
weekly over
cape,
there.
so that was okay.
Hey, the other one will be wearing capes in no time. Don't worry.
Something else I noticed is that Varian had said he started reading comics in 2008. Did you say?
I started making comics. Yeah.
Making comics. Okay. When did you start reading comics?
Oh, well, my aunt bought me a Fantastic Four issue when I couldn't read it yet. I think I was 3 or 4.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I was thinking 2000. I was thinking 2008. 1975. I started picking up comics. Good Lord.
Yeah, it was definitely the 80s when she bought me this Fantastic Four book, and I couldn't read it. And then I started like getting comics, and her and her friends, because my aunt was young, she was like 19, 20. Her and her friends would color in my Conan books. With color pencils. They did really nice work, by the way.
Yeah.
They're
never
ruining
went over the lines.
Yeah.
We thought you'd enjoy all the lush skin tones on the shirtless guy. Is that what it is?
I believe so.
Or it's just the one thing that they were into is coloring text. That's what it was.
By the way, that ruined me for life because as far as I was concerned, because of colored pencils in the 80s, colored pencils and colored and coloring crayons, white people were peach. The color said peach.
Could never get a good flesh tone. Never.
Oh dear.
Peach or salmon. Yeah. A little pink and a little orange. A little more orange. Yeah.
So remember that. So next time someone says, "What color are you?" I'm gonna say, "I'm peach."
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine my surprise when I was reading a book by Boris Vallejo saying that he put in blues and greens too, and I'm like, "Wait, where?"
That was probably Scottish people. I think the Scots. I've been told by my Scottish friends that they start off blue and go for a tan and get white. So that's the way. It may be like that in Nordic areas as well. I don't know. Some people in the chat might be able to tell us about that.
Jake might be able to set us straight on that.
You can find me at Comic Book Black Belt on YouTube. You can find me at russleach.com. You can find me at comicbookblackbelt.com. I've been drawing comics professionally in anger since 2010.
Word.
But I've been in the production industry since longer than I can remember. To be honest with you, I've been involved with Doctor Who, Ben 10, Marvel, and people like that. You can find out about my current book, Only Death Can Save Us, which is an all-ages graphic novel that has its inspirations in the Bronze Age, and that's up at the moment on Indiegogo, and it's in demand, so you can go still pick up a copy, and you can find out more about it at onlydeathcansaveus.com, and the links are all there.
And do check that out. Only Death Can Save Us over on Indiegogo in demand right now. It's an excellent product. I can't wait to read.
No, yeah,
It's,
I can't wait to get
it's
that
gone
too.
off to proof this week. I should get a proof
Sweet.
book back in on Tuesday. I'll do a little video about that, and then it will be off to print in January, and then I will be fulfilling at the end of
Huzzah.
January.
Awesome. Looking forward to mailing stuff up.
Yeah, great. 2 weeks of
part.
packing and
That's the
posting.
fun part, yes. We're also joined by Roland Mann this morning. Roland, introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Yep, I'm Roland Mann. I got started in comics in the late 80s, thanks to the black and white boom of the 80s. I will always forever be thankful to the Turtles because they kind of kicked everything off and proved that, yeah, you don't have to have people in comics to make comics. So I spent the 90s professionally in comics. I was an editor at Malibu Comics. A lot of people remember the Ultraverse there. I edited about half of that line. And then Marvel bought us, and I was a Marvel editor for a little while, and then Marvel shut everybody down in 96. And I started my own small press publishing house at the time, excuse me, called Silverline. And I published until 2001 when I lost $20,000, and my wife said, "You got to stop that." And so I quit and gave up comics. I actually sold, but I know it looks like I still have a whole bunch of them, but I actually sold a whole bunch of comics because I was getting out. I was done. Went back and got a degree and started teaching, which is what I do for my day job now. I started to say professionally. I still teach, but I don't know, what is this, 2020? So about a decade ago, I was like, I miss comics. I hadn't done them for, almost 10 years. I'm like, I miss comics. I want to do some more comics. And so I started making them again just because I wanted to, just because they were fun. And one thing led to another, and last year I relaunched my Silverline label. Thankful because of print on demand. The game has changed a lot since the 90s. Yes. When I started Silverline again, the wife was supportive. She said, "Yeah." She said, "You just have one directive." I said, "What's that?" She says, "Don't lose money." So we set aside a little budget for me to start with, and she said, "When that's gone, you're done." I'm like, "Okay." So my goal is not to lose money. That's easier said than done.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Sometimes, yes, and it's very easy to lose money if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we all have that $20,000 story.
Oh my goodness! It's yeah.
My wife constantly reminds me when I tell her I'm quitting. She's like, "Do you know how much you lost?" you can't quit now. You have to. Something has to pan out.
You're in the game, buddy.
Yeah,
that's a common problem with gamblers. They keep playing until they break even, because then they'll break even. Then they're done. They're done.
I wish I could quit you.
Yeah. She's told me before. She's like, like some of our yearly last call comics meetings are. So how much are we losing this year? How much are you doing into the win?
There's your show, Randy. How much money have you lost in comics?
Yeah. There's definitely some tax advantages to doing alternative comics.
There is. There absolutely is. Yeah. You can buy this stuff right here and take it off on your taxes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Everyone has to come in. Everyone who does that show, Randy, will come in with voice changes and just a black shadow.
I've been in comics in the 1970s, and
Exactly.
Silhouette.
My name is Anonymous.
Yeah, my name is Anonymous.
My name is Anonymous, and I've lost money on comics.
Oh, I'm coming in. I'm coming in with names people like aren't me. Like I'm gonna come in like my name is Scott Rosema. I've lost over $400,000, and I'm coming in with different names. I'm not me. It will not be me.
I mean, I remember, and the funny, this was in the early 80s, the late 80s, early 90s, and we met this family, and they made comic books as a family, and they said that at the time, at that money, they said that they were $80,000 in the hole for it.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like
Good
what?
grief.
What?
And hey, everybody, I am your host, Randy Zimmerman. I have lost money on comics. I've been doing alternative comics for many, many decades. I've retailed, I've coordinated conventions, I've done everything that you can imagine in the direct market that is possible to do. And probably 2 or 3 times, very unsuccessfully, sometimes very successfully. I'm currently doing commercial work and graphic arts, sequential artwork for advertising and educational purposes, mainly when I'm not working on my own crowdfunding books or working on other products that we will be crowdfunding here in the next year. I spent a decade doing my own newspaper that I circulated around my area that was advertiser supported. We gave it away for free, ran all sorts of comic book stories and comic strips in it called Flint Comics and Entertainment. We ran through 100 copies of that paper at 10,000 a print run. And we ran through just about all of them. I have a few left down here in the basement, but not very many.
Wow.
And it reinstilled my love of comics. We had to stop a couple years ago because I'm from the Flint, Michigan area. We had the water crisis up here, and all of the mom and pop advertising money literally dried up, pun intended. And it got to be difficult to do the paper. And again, after hitting my savings a few times, we figured it was good for us to stop at number 100. Also, my wife's advice.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that advice started about 90, but anyway, at issue 100, we decided to stop, and I got back into looking at the direct market. Varian turned me on to a few folks on YouTube that I started watching, and then Varian started the Indie Volt Network, started podcasting. I started my own YouTube channel called Zim Geek that has a few cartoon instructional videos on it and some commentary about the business. But most of the time, I'm here on Indie Volt, on the Indie Volt podcast network, that and running shows or helping to run shows Tuesday nights, Thursday mornings, and this show here, Sunday Funnies, on Sunday morning. And then occasionally I'm on the Geekgasm show that's on Wednesday nights as well, that Varian's wife usually runs, or now Daphne and Meredith is currently co-hosting that show as the Varian's wife gets better after a little bit of surgery. So.
Yeah, she actually came and gave me the evil eye a couple minutes ago. So it's because the Christmas present's starting to block her way to her computer.
I thought it would be are you on the air again?
No. She doesn't get mad about that. She's like, oh, you're not talking to me. Great. It's the Christmas presents becoming a little cumbersome, and I didn't do it on purpose. But
time to do a little rapping.
No, they're all wrapped.
Okay.
I'm envious of that spinner rack, Zim.
Oh, yeah. I had that offered to me by a longtime retailer. He knew I was looking for one. He called me up, and it wasn't a matter of how much he wanted for it. It was if I wanted it or not. It's like, yes, I do.
Yeah.
I don't care what you want for it. I want it. So, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
I love that rack.
Yeah.
And it's missing one of the ball bearing rings at the bottom. So when you turn it, no, it does rock a little, but when you turn it, it's got that patented a comic rack squeak to it.
Oh, man. Yeah, you gotta record that.
I was thinking about doing a video on that.
Yeah, you should do a video, just that, and you turning it, right? Yeah. Just the video,
it's
and then
comic ASMR type stuff.
Right? Yeah, it's like I saw.
It'd be like, hey kids, here's a sound you don't hear.
Yeah, that's right.
That means comics, folks. That means comics. Yeah.
My son and I were, I can't remember exactly what, I guess it was last year. It was just the two of us at a small period of time for Christmas. And so we were looking, we were kind of poking around on Netflix looking for something to watch. And I stumbled across this Fire, right? It's just a fire. It's like an hour long. You put it on and it's a fire.
A Yule log, yeah.
We sat there and watched that for a little while. And he was looking at me, he goes, do people really watch this? I'm like, it's on Netflix.
This used to be tradition. We would all sit around the TV after Thanksgiving dinner.
You really want to spend some
Channel 9 Yule log.
Right. Seriously, that's for when you're unwrapping your presents. You put the Yule log on, and it just adds to the personality of the room. But if you really want to spend some time, YouTube Norwegian train trip.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
And you can spend hours there going through some phenomenal scenery
Yeah.
and tunnels and turns and
Yep.
everything. The wife's caught me a couple times. You on a train trip again? Yeah, I think we're heading into whatever town. You know.
Oh yeah, no, my
I'm
mom
trying to
was,
find it on Google Maps. Is what I'm trying to find.
It
no, my mom
used to
was
be
into that
porn.
too. Yeah.
Now it's train trips.
Yeah. You know, you're
Smoking
getting
logs.
in. Yeah. I've become quite the voyeur. I just watched like live streams from New York.
Yeah.
I watch like Times Square and I'm watching people like, look at them. Where are they going?
You ever seen that? It's called something like Out Your Window or Out My Window or My Window or something like that. And it's literally just people take and they put their phone like they're looking out their window from all over the world. And for 10 minutes, you just look out their window and watch, you know, and I'm like, I watch. And you can move through them, right? You can, if you don't like one, you can go to the next one. But I'm like, why do I want to watch your husband putting spaghetti noodles in the swimming pool? You know, because I was like, what the heck? But some of them were really nice. It's like, wow, where's that? I want that view.
Yeah. I mean, I think that would be real cool. And then I just think about ways that can go real bad, real quick.
Real quick.
You know, you witness crimes. Oh no.
Right. Yeah.
But I will say that I do like some of the technology we have now to live stream, to go to different countries and see what they're doing. I know that I witnessed some shady business in Italy.
Most likely. Yeah.
This morning, I had a conversation with a guy from Portugal, and it was instantaneous.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, and I sat back for a second. I went, never ever thought when I was a kid that I would ever be doing that. Talking to somebody in Portugal, and they're answering me immediately.
Yeah.
You know, because usually it's a long wait.
Well, Russ is across the pond.
I was about to say,
Russ is right here. Yeah.
You're in
and he looks like he's in the room next to me, you know?
Yeah. He's busy reading scripts, so getting ready to do some voice acting.
Look, we're lucky we got the different angle from his camera, so
I'm weirded out about it. I'm weirded out about that different angle. I'm like,
I don't know where it's going to end up. It's just I've got
mixing
my board.
it up.
I've got my I can tap now. I've got my traditional drawing board next to me, and I'm doing a bit more traditional work. So I had to make more room on the desk to have everything in it. It's just messed the camera up, so I don't know where it's going now.
You need one of those. You need to figure this out. Here's your task, right? You need to figure out how to do a window in a window, because you know you're sitting there drawing, and as much as you know, I respect your head of hair. I'd like to see what you're drawing. You know, it's like I'd kind of like to see what is it you're drawing. You're busy working there. You could put the main window on your art.
Yeah,
and the little window in the window is your head. Then
I think you can do it when you do things like
OBS,
Twitch and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you got that. Is it OBE? OBS software. Yeah.
Make it so.
Yeah, do it now.
No, do it now.
Now.
Maybe we should do one show where it's just all of our desktops, and we're just
we can do that.
Talking, but it's like we're all doing something.
Yeah, there we are.
There you go.
Cool. Yeah,
that's what's going on now. All right,
nice.
There we go.
Yeah.
But it's very slow today. So I don't know why, but I'm completely whacked.
So what is this for? Is it like a pinup, or is it just like an online graphic?
No, there's I'm doing I think it's 6 pages, 6 A4s, so just the size of a book, this size of a book. Original art. So I'm doing the pencils as I normally do digitally. I'll print it out on a piece of Bristol board, and then I'll ink it up with traditionally with ink pens. I've got some brand new brush pens that I've been messing around with, and I just decided to change my stock up because I've been doing traditional stuff, but I've been doing it more. I've been doing a bit of brush and a bit of pen, but I wanted to find some really good brush pens, and I think I've found some now. So I may be aiming towards doing my next book completely traditionally, which is
Isn't
that
funny?
Really weird turnaround.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't that confident with inking, and I came to digital work because of that lack of confidence. So I was quite happy penciling, and now it seems to be completely the opposite way around because of the difference in technology, the difference in traditional mediums, and what you can find, the tools that you can get. And now I'm actually looking at penciling everything up digitally, printing it out onto Bristol board, and then inking it up.
Wow, yeah.
The
cool.
completely opposite way around. And actually, the skills that I've learned from inking digitally have actually transposed. They've transferred into my physical inking. So I've managed to actually do something that I wasn't expecting to do. So cool. Quite pleased. But that means I've changed everything up. So
Russ, if you put a Santa Claus hat on that guy, that will be an accurate description of me when I pass by a bell ringer with a cart full of stuff and don't put anything in a little red bucket. So I look at me, I'm very mean. I love that. I love his look. That's just so like.
Yeah. That's you know what you could consider, Russ. You know Thomas Flormonti, the inker Thomas Flormonti at all?
No, sorry.
Tommy, he worked on a project with me recently on Trumps, and what he does is he'll look at the pages and he'll kind of decide, is this a page that I could sell, right? Or is this one of those pages that I'll just, and so he'll ink most of them digitally. And then the ones that he thinks are, commercially viable as originals, he'll ink those in traditional media.
That's exactly what I did with this book.
Yeah,
I did 10 pages where I did them traditionally.
Perfect.
And put them up for sale.
Yeah.
So that is, you're absolutely right. The only difference is my OCD comes out.
You want them all, right?
I want them all to look exactly the same. So you get this little bit of shake that you don't get on the digital version, and it's like, I really like that little bit of shake. Surely they should all look the same.
That ink smear, that thumbprint.
Yeah. So those versions, I scanned those in, and I touched them up for the book anyway.
Oh wow!
So you've got the original work, and then things like strike lines, which Joe Sinnott just did so fantastically. They're really tricky to do, but they're so easy to do digitally. So they're something that I kind of left off, and I did those. I touched them up digitally, on the traditional, and I touched them up on the digital. So it's like this combination. It's multi-mediums, which I think actually, when you think about it, you've got to look at comic books as being one of these things that does evolve. And you have to be able to use all of the options you have to make a good book. So.
Dude, I would make the argument that if Jack and all those guys had the technology we had today, they would absolutely 100% be utilizing it, because it was all about speed. Yep. I got to get the pages done. Let me, I absolutely believe that they would be utilizing the technology that would help them move faster.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Yeah, because they just pumped out pages that are rated up anyway. So,
Just imagine how productive Kirby would be today.
It's scary.
Yes, it is.
I think it's fast, but that just scares the hell out of me.
Yeah.
But I have a question about those originals, though. It's like, because I don't know, like maybe like 10, 15 years ago, I guess when digital started becoming more prominent, it's like I've come across people who think that unless you do the entire thing on paper, it's not considered an original. I mean, have you ever come across anybody thinking that, this doesn't count because
my wife. She says, "Are you cheating again?"
No. but it's funny. Like that's exactly what I mean. Like I've offered up originals, and people are like going, "Oh, it has that blue line in it. I don't want it. It's not an original."
What the heck?
Even though it's a digital blue line, but I still penciled an ink on top of it, and they're like going, "Oh, that's not an original."
Oh, sorry, my goodness, that's that's crazy.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering if.
I draw in blue line first, and then I go over it. But I've heard people say that, like, "Oh, did you draw this freehand, or did you have the computer help you?"
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
What do you mean? Did the computer help you?
Yeah. My thing is like, there's a program.
The computer didn't say, "Now move the line to the left."
If there's a program that does that, tell me.
My computer doesn't help me write.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's because it's like when I used to do convention sketches, I would, because like I would just do like simple stuff. So in order to save time at conventions, I would pre-sketch out the blue line. It's like I still had to fill in everything
Sure.
else, but it was just I guess the maquette. And I had to hide that from people so that they wouldn't see it because they would go, "Oh, you're just tracing." And like, there's nothing on the paper. What am I tracing? And it's like, here, you fill it out.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
No, it was like that with programming as well. There was always the make internet button, make a website button. There's one on the keyboard somewhere. I'm sure there is.
I was going to say it's that comic blast mentality with the magic button.
Oh
Right,
yeah.
Oh man. Y'all seen that,
it's
huh?
not an old, it's an old thing.
Don't talk to Daphne. Don't talk to Daphne about that.
Daphne did a whole video on it.
Yeah.
Oh, listen, man. We have
worth seeing.
I have a Team Silverline, group chat on Facebook, and man, when someone posted that video, man, the artist just went Rawr! And I was like, "What the heck are they talking about?" So I had to go watch it. And I'm like, "Yeah, okay."
No, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's like Adobe completely backtracked on it, so it's. I don't think it's an issue now, but I don't know what. I still don't know what they were thinking.
Well, we meant it as a toy.
Oh,
tool.
Sure.
That's not the way you promoted it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they I believe they called our way of making comics. Was it archaic or primitive?
Primitive.
Primitive.
That we were primitive. Yes.
Yeah.
Jake Twister
So
says
what? You're going back in time then. You're primitive. We're going on paywall soon.
we've
It
split
does feel
the
that
atom.
way sometimes.
Jake says we've split the atom, we've stitched RNA, and we have still yet to solve the mystery of who spiked the eggnog. Says, well, I'm a big baby. I like things I can sense. Cameron says, thanks, Cameron, for listening. Jake comes back and says, recommending everyone to watch The Golden Age of Horror Comics Part 1 and 2 by In Praise of Shadows here on YouTube.
Interesting. Okay.
Very interesting. That could be good. Sarah says, hey there, Sarah. Hope you're doing well this morning. Jake says hello to Sarah. Everybody says hello to Sarah. Cameron says talks like her brother names Frank. What? Anyway, not sure what that was, but Sarah says back to Jake. Marv says I've got Comics Unlimited. Russ and Daphne's articles are awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. I have. I'm
cool.
working on another one, another article for Glenn.
Sweet. I gotta cut some time and start writing some more. I can imagine Red Sonja in peach skin and green hair. Yeah, coming. It's coming.
Gotta have that peach skin.
Yeah, flesh color.
Yeah.
Yep, that's how far back our chat is. Wait, Starfire and Chainmail sounds like a hit. Well, not anyway. Oh, Cameron says. Jake says our melatonin levels aren't that out of whack. And send some eyes. Says it's funny.
See Michael.
Michael, thanks for listening. Oh, I just moved everything around here.
Yeah. You guys need to see what he's done for a project he and I are working on together called The Rejects. Oh my gosh, it's fantastic.
Cool.
Yeah.
When are you gonna be promoting that?
That's a good question. I talked to the inker about 3 weeks before Thanksgiving, and she was like, I have a lot of issues that should be resolved at Thanksgiving, and then let me know, talk to me after Thanksgiving, and we'll get a better sense of what her schedule will be. I've yet to hear from her. I've dropped her a couple of messages after Thanksgiving, and so I'm yet to hear from her. So I'm concerned as to how her family issues might have been resolved.
Oh,
like, I don't know. I haven't heard from her. So, and I don't know.
Holiday season is always volatile.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And when she's from the New Jersey area, so those Yankees up there are all
Oh, they're fist fighting then.
Yeah.
Jake says there was a legend that my home county was avoided by cartographers and geographers because of superstition of monsters and savage boony people. Okay. We have that here in Michigan too, savage boony people. Just ask Varian.
Mm-hmm. Don't go further. I don't go further than the poem.
See, Michael says it's funny to see you up so early, Roland.
Yeah, it's unusual to see me up this early.
Roland got the calling. Realize Casino good cameras. Is that somebody's dropping a hint? This Sunday Funnies is brought to you by Debt.
Debt.
Oh,
yeah.
Sarah says he's up and has a Santa hat on, unless he's rolled out of bed that way.
That's
LOL.
right.
Yeah.
This is the way I roll. Ho, ho, ho.
That's how he sleeps. There we are.
That's right.
You can see him holding a candle next. Yeah. And a long gown. Yeah.
We've gotten off the air so late before on the after shows on Tuesday nights that I've accidentally gone to sleep with this hat on.
Sarah, multi-tool nap cap.
Yeah, absolutely.
LOL.
But I would imagine that this is something that Russ would wear to help keep him warm.
Yeah, look, Russ has a new camera angle.
I apologize.
He's got the new camera angle. He doesn't have the glass on his forehead. I want to know what his angle is here. He's
It's up on my other board, just beyond this board. That's the trouble.
Okay.
It's going to change. Honest, yeah. I've had so many comments now. I'm going to have to change it.
Oh no, we're just picking on you because you changed your. Don't worry about it. Do what you want to do.
Look, we had Michael Olden have a stand-in. We look in next week. It'll be Jason Statham instead of Russ.
That's why. Dear. Yeah, that's why I wear a hat so the reflection doesn't hit off of the skull. Yeah, poing. Sarah says I'm not even sure why I'm awake this early. Just rolled out of bed, wondering what I was doing up so early. Indie Volt is a good way to wake up. Thanks very much. I miss spinner racks of comics in stores. I can't remember the last time I saw that. Cool to see, Randy. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, it's a pal of mine. As soon as I had it, I foolishly had it out in the garage for about a year, and I said, no, I got to bring it in. And when we started podcasting, I said that's got to be there.
Yeah,
it just has to be because it's so cool. I change comics on it every once in a while.
Anybody that has a rack in the garage they need
especially a spinner rack. It needs to be inside.
that's actually what I meant. Yeah, I didn't say that, but that's what I meant.
If they have a regular rack, it should be in the basement. And we hope they're getting.
I won't go there.
If that's their thing, I hope they're getting a lot of enjoyment out of it. Jake says Indie Volt have to get an hour on the radio broadcast dedicated to spinner rack, flipping floppies, book strokes, ASMR.
Oh, it could be like the Yule log. So it's like you would have the spinner rack.
That's cool.
Slowly spin.
Yeah.
I actually thought about doing a video.
Flipping through the comics, right? Yeah. Flip. Yep.
I actually thought about doing a video where I pulled a bunch of the old comics that I have out of my long boxes and putting them up there and pulling them off and going, I bought this book.
Yeah.
I remember buying this book in Chesning back in 1976.
Yeah.
I bought this book in Flushing back in 1971. That kind of thing. I could probably do that on some books.
To make it a true experience, though, you got to have somebody come up to you. I don't know if Lola could pull the voice up, but you got to have somebody walk up and say, "Excuse me, you can't read these books. You have to buy them."
Yeah. Why do you think this is, kid? A library? Yeah. So true. So put a greased up pig in there. Challenge disclosure. Do not do that.
I don't think I would recommend that either.
Yeah.
It says at Indie Volt, look up Bent Buhorn Norgard on YouTube, Randy. He's the guy to go for Norwegian train trips. Yeah. There's some pretty awesome ones up there. Empyrean says put a mirror behind Russ so we can see him drawing. Yeah.
See, I was just saying that.
That's how far back our chat is. Yeah. Roland, additional to do that, you need a fan cam of a K-pop artist. Yeah. Cameron says the bald eagle is a national treasure. Cameron says LIL. Sarah, wow, that's awesome. I love seeing the drawing process. I say keep the screen up that way while talking so we can watch. I think that was a hint, Russ.
Yeah, it's like we can either do like an all drawing show or Varian has to bring back War of Art.
Oh, Art of War, yeah.
Oh, Art of War, yeah.
Awesome, Russ. Hey, everyone. Hey, Marv. Hope you're doing well. Marv, hello, Marv. Been doing traditional dip your toe in ink and do the render technique like the triumphant one and sell it under the pretense of feet pics.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
I was at a show one time talking to the convention coordinator. This was a long time ago, and I'd mentioned to him I would really like to draw like Bill Sinkovich, because at the time he was doing a real interesting, pretty open style. And he looked at me and goes, "Are you left-handed or right-handed?" I said, "I'm left-handed." He says, "Well, start drawing with your right hand."
Yeah. Well, I think there's one drop acid and then start drawing with your right hand.
Wasn't that long ago?
I don't know if this will help. You guys asked about the K-pop artists. Will this help? Or
Oh yeah.
there we go. You got the K-pop
It's
artist.
a little too early in the morning for that.
You all know about Gimme Chocolate, right?
I've heard about it, but I
Oh my God! Well, what is the name of that band? I forget what the name of it is.
All production art is an original, but the physical and traditional one is where the retirement money is at. Yeah.
Well,
Baby Metal.
Baby Metal.
Baby Metal.
Baby
Yeah.
Metal. Yeah.
Yeah.
People are very ignorant, says John. Jake says original art in Comic Blast will be worth thousands.
Thousands of
what we don't know.
Yeah.
that's the part.
Is that Nita Lanning?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Digital or not, it's freaking original.
Right. You would think.
Yeah.
I think it comes
damn
down to
straight.
when you're printing it out. So, for instance, if somebody wants an original piece, if you draw it on a computer and then you print it out, I can understand why you'd say, well, that doesn't feel like an original piece.
Sure.
Yeah, especially seeing as you could print that out multiple times.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's where it becomes, and I think it's that confusion that leads people to think, oh, well, it's not the same.
Right.
Yeah.
When of course it is the same, because it's all you. It's just a tool. Doesn't matter if it's a digital tool or a physical tool. It's just a tool. But when it comes to giving out original artwork or selling original artwork, it's definitely a case that you need to have at least one part of the process as a physical rather than a digital thing.
Yeah.
And I think the easiest way to do that is to have the inks done over the top of whatever you're producing on the computer.
Yeah.
And for me, it's exactly the way that I started off anyway. A light box sketching. And then if something's not the right size or whatever, you photocopy it, you blow it up, you take it down, you pin it back on your paper, you put it on the light box, you get it right, then you do all your pencils, and then somebody else inks it, or you ink it yourself, whatever. And that process of layers, effectively your light box and photocopying stuff and what have you, it's just layers in Clip Studio or whatever you're using. It's exactly the same process. It's just easier. To be honest, and much quicker, and that's where the whole process is so much easier to do digitally. But no, it's no different for the physicality of it. As far as you producing a piece of work, it's no different. It's just the output.
I think it has a lot to do with the fact that the less people really understand the process, the more they misinterpret the final result. And then it's like there's a documentary called Tim's Vermeer. And it's about this guy. He's this guy who created the Maya program and Lightwave, and he decided that he was going to try to find out like what exactly made a Tim Vermeer a Vermeer. And he was experimenting with a lot of like camera obscura and mirrors and trying to figure out like what was it that made Vermeer more realistic than his contemporaries at the time. And what he figured out was that there was like this kind of like a mirror contraption that would reflect a scene onto the canvas, but it was kind of weird the way it was set up. So he went out to paint his own Vermeer, and he had some scholars, and he was talking to scholars or something. And the thing is, though, it wasn't that he was saying that Vermeer cheated. It's just that this was just a tool that Vermeer decided to utilize for his work. But the scholars were bugging out at the information. Oh, that's, oh, never, never. It's like Vermeer is way too talented to have used, cheating tricks and things. And it's like, that's not what we're saying. It's a tool.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
we're looking at it. It's like, I'm watching this thing. It's like, oh, that is so neat.
Yeah.
A carpenter uses a ruler.
Right.
That doesn't mean he's cheating.
Right,
No.
exactly. It's like it's kind of like the smooth brains that keep talking about how using reference is cheating. So
Right.
That's a major complaint about Norman Rockwell's work. Norman was kicking stuff out commercially. He didn't care if he went out and posed models and transposed it onto a canvas and painted it in his style. That was a work for him to do commercially to get onto a cover of a magazine. That was his process, and that's the way it went.
It's like, take this photo and make a Norman Rockwell.
I couldn't do it,
and it still had his own distinctive painting style to it. You can look at a Rockwell and not see the signature.
Yeah,
I think
there's that's a Rockwell.
I think there's a definitive difference between sequential art and any other kind of art when it comes to that kind of thing. So. Like Neil Adams said that any artist who says they've never traced before is lying.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. Every artist has traced, has used a digital reference nowadays, whatever it might be. We've all done it because we've got to get a job out the door. Okay. But when you draw sequential art, if you rely on tracing, whether it's 3D models, whether it's real photographs, whatever it is, if you rely, in fact, specifically photographs, if you rely on tracing, you will not tell the story in a dynamic way.
Yes,
you will never get that because sequential art isn't about literally recreating life.
Yeah,
it's about telling a story with energy, and the energy flows through one sequential panel to the next, and it isn't always about exactly what you've drawn, it's how you've drawn it,
right?
And that's why you shouldn't be, if you really want to tell good stories, you shouldn't be tracing, or you shouldn't be relying on tracing. Like I say, there's nothing wrong with it, just don't rely on it to tell a story.
It's a good tool for a rookie to use to help them learn, right? If you want to, if you're like, I'm not sure how all this sequential stuff works, well, then that's when you take a John Buscema book and you do some tracing to figure out how is he doing this? How's this moving on the page? But the idea is that you don't do that forever. You do that to help you learn the secrets of Buscema's storytelling.
Yeah, we had pulled up a page of John Buscema here on one of the podcasts, and I couldn't help but sit there and go look at that composition. That's amazing. Look at how your eye is flowing panel to panel. That's crazy.
It's everything. It's everything about it. I mean, it was his birthday. Was it yesterday or today? Or I don't know. It was very, very recent. And just the stuff that he did, there was no one else like him. There's no one else like him. The same way there's no one like Kirby. There was no one like John Buscema.
Right.
And it was that combination of ability and correctness added to the way that he cheated. Something else, it took me ages to appreciate Kirby, and when I did, like the light bulb went on. And it's the same with Buscema. I appreciated him from a young age. Okay.
Absolutely.
But it's only recently that the light bulb went on and I realized how much he was cheating. And that's what made it so great. And that's what comic books all about.
But he cheated for the story. He cheated because the story needed. That's what the comic needed at the time. Not because it was I don't know, an inability on his part.
Yeah, there are tales of Kirby needing 2 or 3 pages in order to fill out a comic. He kept a stack of rejected pages next to his board all the time, and he would just go through and find something that worked and plug it into the middle, redraw a couple of characters, and send it on its way. Look at that line.
Oh man,
is that Rudy Nebres, right? Did the line work on that?
A whole different way.
Alcala.
A whole different way of appreciating Buscema.
Yeah.
It's and yet
it's just amazing.
You look at the inking, you look at those kind of inks. Yeah, you look at those kind of inks compared to Sinners.
Well, this is the
and yet you can still see Buscema underneath.
They had
Be careful on those Savage Sword books.
That's true, right?
We don't want to get slammed by Facebook, and they will just as
You
fast as
might-
lightning if they catch some nudity.
Yeah, no,
You
this one
might get
just
some
has
double-page spreads there. Yeah.
and giant snakes.
That's
in it.
amazing work. Yeah.
Giant
But that was
snakes.
that was the cool thing though about comics is especially up until 10 20 years ago, everybody had their own distinctive style.
Yeah.
And you go back and you look at that stuff, you'd see that a lot of the material nowadays is so bland and so dull compared to that work as far as the dynamics and the style working. Anybody that I grew up hating, like Don Heck or Ross and Drew or Kirby, I hated up not really having appreciation for Kirby except for New Gods, which was just so crazy imaginative. It just ate it up. But it took that in order for me to really sit and look at it. The older you get, the more you realize these guys had a style and they were cranking out this stuff monthly.
What was that guy that did the Invaders? I could not stand his work.
Frank Robbins.
They all looked like they were dancing, right?
The same thing. Yeah. Where the leg was funny and the poses were goofy and you were looking at it going, well,
but the weird thing is I love the Invaders.
Yeah.
Right.
I go back and pick up those books now and take a look at them. They're amazing.
I know you're right, but I know as a kid, I'm like, why is Captain America dancing?
Yeah.
You know, what the heck is going on here?
We were so unsophisticated as children.
It's not even that. We were so unappreciative of the individuality that these guys had.
Yeah.
You could pick up a Ditko story and know it was Ditko. You could pick up a Kirby story and know it was Ditko. And unlike what Varian wants to tell you anymore, you pick up a half of these books and you go, is that Jim Lee? No, that's not Jim Lee.
Yeah.
Everybody looks like Jim Lee.
Yeah.
I will tell you guys this though. I've we talked about,
and I love the guys that are individual. Those styles
too.
are great. Lee Elias, another great. Never is appreciated. You don't even hear much about him now, but his Black Cat materials it's like Frank Robbins, just crazy amazing to look at.
There's a local guy, fairly local to me, a guy by the name of Jamie Jones, does a book called The Baboon. And he's heavily inspired and influenced by Eisner, but Jamie's got his own unique style, and I dig that. I really like this. It's unique, you know.
Well, look at all the people back then that were influenced by Caniff, Milton Caniff. You see it. That's a lot of Elias and a lot of Robbins. You see a lot of Caniff in their work. You go back and look at Steve Canyon now, and you're just in awe. Just crazy stuff. Beautiful work. Very stylized.
I seen an artist who has a book out, and I guess it's not an artist, but he's a filmmaker. But what he's done is he's taken shots of his film and he's ran it with a filter and he's put it together as a comic. And he was on a show, and he's a filmmaker. I couldn't put air quotes up quick enough, but he owns a camera and he shoots a script. But the thing was, he said, guys, comics are nothing more than
movies on paper.
I hate that.
Storyboards.
No.
And boy, the room turned against him pretty quick. And I didn't mean to offend, but he was still on that. You couldn't take him off of that. We do storyboards, and we start talking about it because Roland mentioned, Russ mentioned that there's if you're drawing from pictures, you're missing it. That's not what sequential art is.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so when this guy is taking pictures, stripping out the color, placing, the art up there, you're missing a key component of what that art is. And that's why sometimes now the hyper realism in a book will take me out of it.
Yeah.
I do like that whimsical,
So what style is all about.
I want fantasy in my fantasy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what comic book style is about. That's the difference between drawing anatomy perfectly correctly and stretching it and doing what you need to do with it. And as a young man, I'd look at some art and go, "Oh my God, that's awful! What are they doing?" And it's like, no, you're missing it. I missed it. I was so naive, and you do miss it. And I do do storyboards, and there are different.
Yeah.
They're the same, but they're different. You've got a moving story, but you're going from one scene to the next, and you're trying to create that 3D environment for the camera. You're leading somebody else to make the image. It's not the same thing as when you're drawing a comic book and you're telling a story. They're similar, but they're not the same. They require the same sets of skills, but they're not the same.
Glenn Ford popped by long enough to say hello.
Hi, Glenn.
I know that a lot of times
say hi, going back to bed. Go back to bed, Glenn.
I know a lot of times people don't mean this as an insult when they say it, but I kind of take this kind of comment as an insult when
especially when they stress the word just.
Yeah. well, so when someone says, I read your comic and it felt like I was watching a TV show. And I'm like, well, crap, what did I do wrong?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want you to feel like you're watching a TV show. I don't want you to feel like you're watching a movie. I want you to feel like you're reading a doggone comic. It's like, and again, I know that most of them anyway don't mean that as an insult, but if they tell me that, I'm like, well, crap, I did something wrong then.
They're telling you about the entertainment value on the book, and you're thinking logistically and stylistically. Yeah, to them, they got lost in your story enough that they didn't,
Yeah, I guess it depends on what mood you're in.
The best TV shows out there are the ones that you start watching and suddenly they're done.
It's done, yeah.
And you're like, what? That was only 10 minutes.
Exactly.
What's going on? Yeah.
I mean, in terms of Varian's example, I mean, the guy was saying, "Oh, it's just storyboarding."
Oh yeah.
And it's like, no, it's like, it's kind of like the difference between a pillow you sleep on and it's all nice and comfortable, and when I take that same pillow and press it against your face, it's a completely different thing.
Sarah says, "Ooh, Jason Statham, that would be a trick to wake up seeing." Thanks, he's dropping a hint there.
Yeah,
Stuart,
really.
Thanks. I won't take that as anything other than a compliment.
Stuart Harris says, Sunday Funnies and coffee, a great way to start the day. Stu, thanks a lot for listening in this morning. Deeply appreciate you, and I hope you are well. Save the rack talk for Wednesdays. Yes.
Oh, yes. Varian definitely saved that talk for Wednesdays.
Cameron Payne says, good morning. Yep.
When you guys talking about the racks, I'm pretty sure Lola's very confused if she's listening in. Like, what?
Rack?
Yeah.
That's my department. No. Morris Comic Stash had a couple spinner racks at their shop at the old Gibraltar Trade Center. Yeah, Glenn. Gibraltar's not around anymore. I second the return of Art of War.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Art of War? That was something I loved watching and listening to.
Well, the thing is, you have a hard time getting artists who want to draw live.
Cowards.
Yeah. There's that, and then like there are some artists I found out recently. There are some artists that go into that. Remember the artist in here? You guys remember that show Heroes?
Yeah.
Remember the guy who would go into that trance where his eyes would turn white and he just start drawing the future. Well, some of them do that, and they can't be bothered when they're drawing. They're like
concentrating.
And you're like, so you're talking to them, hey, blah 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 blah, and they're like, Randy's one of them. He's one of them. He goes into he can. He's not as bad as some, but it was really hard trying to get a bunch of artists together. And I want to always bring new people in.
Yeah.
Bring new artists in. And so we talked about bringing it back. We talked about different ways to do it that might be a little bit more dynamic to the artist.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe once a month.
Yeah, once a month we can build up a nice amount of artists who will be there and show up. But yeah, I mean, it gave a little break to see what happens. Eric really enjoys hosting that show.
I volunteer to see Michael.
Yeah. We'll get everybody in there eventually. Did I ever do one? I think I may have made.
You kept coming up with goofy rules, goofy trends that everybody had to draw. That's why.
Yes.
Yeah, because I always thought that was like a pretty good concept, because it's like okay, you throw out a prompt and then it's like it's a good practice. It's a good exercise.
Yeah, it was okay. It would like the you know what? I'll be honest with you. Sometimes those prompts, I didn't know where they were going to be until like 5 minutes before the show started.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't know where they were going to be.
Got it.
Yeah, and I was like, oh crap, what I need a couple of them got me in trouble.
Wow.
A couple of the problems
Well,
got me in
because
trouble.
of the topic or because of what people ended up drawing as a result of it?
Yeah, a little of both.
A little bit about, yeah, a little bit about, yeah. I'll go. We'll talk about it off the air. We'll talk about
Oh,
it
okay.
off the air.
Hmm.
Something not to be discussed on the Sunday
Yeah,
Funnies show. Yeah.
yeah.
Stuart Kerr says $5 a week allowance got me Marvel's entire line.
Really?
Sans
No
War,
kidding.
Western, and reprints. They would have fit in that budget too. I just wasn't into them.
I
Yeah.
heard that.
Yeah, 25 cents a book
Cool.
goes a long way. Jake again says there's where baby metal occupy the young artist spectrum of metal. Opposite is the Nijin
Injin
old
issue.
guys slamming.
Yeah, he sent me Jake sent me a video of that. It's an old guy. Looks like he's Asian.
Yeah.
And oh boy, he is it's death metal right there.
Stuart says I'm not an artist, and I even have a light box. JD, thanks for listening in. Rosario, I can listen to Russ read the phone book.
Hiya, Jay.
Soothing, calming, and informative. He is a true talent that needs to be recognized by more people.
I agree.
There you
Checks
go.
in the post.
There we are. Even Jake agrees with that. Yeah.
Yo says
Jay is
Yo.
Jay is fantastic. He has a publishing line called Unstoppable Comics, and he publishes truly diverse. Before Marvel thought it was a good idea, he publishes truly diverse books with diverse stories and diverse views and diverse characters. Absolutely fantastic stuff. I've been fortunate enough to draw some books for him. They're great fun to draw, great fun to read. Go find out about Jay and Unstoppable Comics, unstoppablecomics.com. Go find out. He's got a book up at the moment, which I have some art in, and that's Storm Chasers. It's up on Kickstarter. So go find out about it. Go find out about it.
Now
Damn, that check really is in the mail.
Just returning a favor. Yeah. Unstoppable Comics. We need to have. I think we've had him on before.
Yeah,
have we?
Great guy. I don't know if you have, but he's a great guy.
It's possible.
Pretty sure we have. If not, needs to get hold of us.
Yeah,
and get on again. What templates are cheating? Cameron asks.
I mean, templates. I mean, that's all they are. They're templates, and it's like, I mean, because in when I was doing the sketches for conventions, it's like that's pretty much what I was just making. I was just sketching out poses in advance.
But if you made them, they're not cheating.
No.
Yeah, you would think, right?
Yeah, it's just prep work. That's all it is.
And one day we're gonna all figure out. We're gonna come to the conclusion of how we need to pronounce that. Because I've said template to people, and they look at me like they have no idea what I'm talking about. And I'm like,
template?
And they're like, the template. And I'm like, the template? And they're like, oh, a template.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh my God, you pronounced the hell out of that L, didn't you? It's fine. It's like people with their memes.
No,
but,
memes? Oh my gosh.
Memes. You see the internet memes?
Yeah.
Yeah, my Mimi's old. She's married to my papa.
Yeah,
everybody says hello to Pops here in the chat. Hello, Pops. Hope you're doing all right. Art is something, or art is just manipulating conventional and unorthodox media and tools to make something. Greg Land forgot that. Oops.
Yeah. Well, we want to call people out. Yeah. Because not for nothing though, you could tell when he wasn't using his reference.
Yeah.
When he drew on his own, you could tell something was missing. So that's how you know it's like it became a crutch as opposed to a tool.
Yeah. Jake says R.I.P. Frazetta. And Frazetta, I've heard a lot of stories about Frazetta being like the just insane when it came to doing paintings. He could sit there and just work one right out of his head like it was nothing.
Right, so. and then he'll be tweaking that same painting for the next 40 years.
Yeah, taking it, working. JD Rosario Buscema was a god.
Yeah.
Because that's some amazing art. I think we're up to where you were showing your board.
Yeah.
So I love the detail in the artwork. Daphne just showed a comic book. I'm a sucker for detail. Oh, those are old Savage Sword of Conan's. If you ever get a chance, Sarah, hit your local retailer and go through their back issue section, their
Yeah.
magazine boxes, because every Savage Sword of Conan that you can find is probably self-contained, and it probably has some amazing, super amazing ink work in it by Alcala or Desugna or just a row of incredible craftsmen. Ernie Cruz pops to mind. There's all sorts
This
of.
one has also this volume has also a lot of Barry Windsor Smith in it too.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, another great.
No.
Absolutely. John
Barry
Silvestri.
Windsor hyphen Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hyphen
You
Smith.
cannot miss the hyphen. I did one time, and I was chewed for 30 minutes.
There we are.
There you go. So that's the final thing. So.
There we go.
Nice.
That is awesome.
Rawr.
John Silvestri says, I actually think that Kirby's best acting was when drawing the early Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos. Yeah. There's some great work in there. Everybody has their favorite Kirby era. You know, some of them like the much older stuff where he was more expansive. Some of them like the real early Golden Age material that he was doing with Simon, Joe Simons. That stuff got to be incredibly tight at times. Just great work. The Black Magic material, it's just amazing to look at. Marv says, just came back, internet problems. I've lost 15 minutes. No, you haven't, because we are archived over on YouTube. You can always follow us or catch us up later. We are always over there. Anytime that you're bored, just pop over to the Indie Volt channel. Please like and subscribe when you're over there, and take a look at the archives, because it grows every week. There's always more stuff to watch or listen to.
And you can go back like if you go back 2 weeks, I guarantee today's episodes make us like hypocrites. So you can always call us out.
That too.
Yeah. 3 weeks ago you said,
or you can go back a couple of years at this point and laugh at us trying to be podcasters.
Yeah. You can definitely go back now
Now we're just cranky old people bitching online.
There we go. Welcome back, Marv. John says, I am a cartoonist, not an illustrator.
Yeah.
You know, I asked that on my Facebook once when the Facebook still allowed us to have polls. I said, what do you prefer, cartoonist or illustrator? And a lot of people voted, and it was a poll. I didn't think people would comment, and then arguments started. I had to shut it down because it was like some people think they're cartoonists and they think that's better. Other people think illustrator is better. I'm just a drawer of pictures.
Drawer.
Yeah, IKEA drawers.
I'm a drawer.
What do you guys prefer? What do you prefer, Randy? Illustrator, cartoonist?
I always list myself as a cartoonist.
Yeah. One guy wrote
commercial graphic artist.
Yeah, one guy wrote graphic designer.
Yeah.
He prefers that.
See, I think of a graphic designer as someone who just lays out ads, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I know they do more than that, but you know what I'm talking, laying out stuff.
I didn't really need to draw when I was a graphic designer.
Yeah.
No.
More accurately, we're sequential artists.
Yeah, I was going to say that's what I like to go by is sequential.
Yeah.
Because cartoonist has a certain pigeonhole mindset. Some people, you draw those in the funny papers, you draw those in the newspapers, you draw those gag strips, right? That's
but the problem is that if you say sequential artist, either one, they have no idea what you're talking about, and two, when you say, I draw comic books, which one? And it's like,
If
usually
it's not Spider-Man or Batman, they
yeah,
don't care.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
you used to get that dumbfounded look. Oh, you draw comic books?
Yeah.
You know, where if you tell them you're a sequential artist and you say, "What's that?" Well, I draw artwork that is read sequentially. I say some people call it comics. That helps. That I think that just enriches their education.
Just tell them you draw Batman.
Right? Yeah, I know. Right?
And
they probably wouldn't even know the wiser either. They're just like, "Oh, cool."
And even then, they'll look at you and go, "I'm sorry, you don't cartoon. You cartoon. You draw the animation for Batman." What?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, but me personally, I actually kind of prefer like cartoonist and comic book artist are kind of like the two terms I like the most. Illustrators, I put that in because I do it sometimes, but mostly it's just cartoonist would be like number one, comic book, like comic book artist number two, illustrator number three.
I'll tell you what, you write comic book artist on your state inquiry, it's how you get free things. So free
it's how you get people ask you to design your tattoos. stuff. Oh, I have an idea
Yeah.
for a children's book.
Well, yeah.
Exactly.
No.
You
I
get
was-
that a lot too. I'm an illustrator. Do my kids' book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, and I was gonna say when you call the state, say, "Hey, I need help. I'm a comic book artist." Oh my God, here's a card. Here's a free health insurance. Here's everything else you need. We understand.
Here's how to get on the bridge program. Yeah.
Yeah. You need food, you poor thing.
I mean, honestly, it's like I never realized how many people have ideas for children's books.
Yeah. Amazing.
Oh,
isn't it?
everybody.
I've done storyboards, and they're meant to be thumbnails for the director to start the process of filming. John,
Thumbnails are fine. Yeah, when you say, well, all we do is thumbnails, come on.
Or it's just
Yeah.
comic book art is just.
I've seen some good thumbnails, though. I have seen some good thumbnails. I'll give them that.
Stu says not everyone understands the format or how to talk about the format. That's very true. That's all a matter of getting that education and spreading that education around. OMG, the pillow comment. I'm crying.
I know.
That's how far back our comments are. We're catching up. We're catching up. Imagination can be nirvana. You could always talk to John Celestri about nirvana. He probably will. Anyway, argue with it. He was an animator. I draw some mean stick people. Not as good as Fazell, of course. No, nobody draws stick figures as good as Cynical Man.
I should ask John if he worked on Space Ace at all. I know he did.
Yeah, he said he did.
He said he did.
Yeah.
Space Ace and Dragon's Lair, but rock and roll. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of stuff for Don Bluth at the time. I did once The Art of War. Tell me when, and I won't work Saturday morning. It will be 2 a.m. in Portugal. I don't care. Yeah. Marv's up for it. That would be awesome, Marv.
Yeah, well, yeah, I remember that. I remember that it was late for Marv when we did it. It was, and that's another problem too. The time distance. There's another popular art show. I forget the name. I'm not being mean by not saying the name of the show. I can't remember the name of it, but the organizer is in Utah. So when he has people come on, like he doesn't understand. Yeah, it's 7 o'clock for him. It's 2 a.m. for me. I want to go to bed.
Well, if he's in Utah, if it's 7 o'clock for him, it's actually 4 p.m. for you.
Well, yeah. But like,
no, I take that back.
Way.
That would be 10 at night for you.
Yeah, 10. Yeah, and he starts the show.
And it goes
Where are you, Varian?
I'm in Michigan.
It's not 3 hours difference from you to Utah.
Utah's
what, 2 then?
Let's see. Hold on.
Utah is mountain time. You're in Central time,
and then it would be 2. No, we're in Eastern.
Oh, okay. All right. It's 2 hours then.
We're on the edge of Eastern.
I thought Michigan was in Central time.
No.
We're not Central. We're Eastern.
1 hour.
Yeah.
We're on the same schedule.
Zones.
Yeah.
We're on the same time schedule as you.
Okay, all right.
Down in Florida, yeah.
Oh, for some reason, I guess I thought y'all were in Central time.
Of
No,
course.
the time switches about halfway into the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. That's where Central Time is. So you can literally. I was up there this last summer, and we were literally switching times, gaining, losing an hour constantly.
That's funny.
Oh yeah, because that's where the line is.
I guess I just assumed it was on the eastern side of the state, since you're a big.
No, it goes right down the
there.
middle of Lake Michigan, I believe.
Imagine my shock when I was a kid, and I noticed that the Pistons they had won the Eastern Conference Championship a few times, but then I would notice that the Red Wings were always the Western Conference champions.
Yeah,
and I'm like, what? I didn't understand why this is happening. And apparently, Michigan doesn't know where it wants to be. We want to be West Coast or East Coast. We don't care.
Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right.
Yeah.
And then you add in daylight savings time, and then nobody knows what's going on.
Oh yeah, that gets really crazy.
I used to set my clocks to New York time because I'm like, you know what? I don't know what time. I just know that the same time it is in New York is here. So there.
Go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I would start getting New York's weather and everything, and that was just really weird.
Jake says, I don't want to miss the chance to say Merry Christmas to all of you on the panel.
Merry Christmas.
Listeners in chat.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Absolutely. And, well, we're not there. But anyway, back to where we were.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too, Jake.
I've told
and happy holidays. Yes, Hanukkah has started. Things are going well. hopefully with everybody out there. Thanks, Sarah. Marv says. Sarah
Kwanzaa
says you're
started
welcome.
too.
Marv. Sarah says, Merry Christmas, Happy Yule. What?
Kwanzaa has started too, you know.
Cool.
Yeah,
Happy
great.
Yule and other holidays to you too, Jake. Happy holidays to everybody. I didn't like Jack Kirby's art when I was a kid, but Machine Man, loved it. Yeah, it's always that one book where you wake up to Kirby, you know. At least for me, you know, you sit back and you. It was a long process, but usually it was the Fourth World when when DC kicked out the New Gods and the Prestige format books in color. That's when I really started looking at the art. I was always amazed at the writing and all the crazy characters and the looks of the design work was always amazing. But you sit there and you really start looking at Kirby and you go, "Wow, this is incredible." Why did I hate him?
Yeah, I had to see the pages in person.
Yeah,
I do have a question for you guys because I realize I'm a bit touched. But
inappropriately.
Yeah.
I realize cartoonist polls they're always exaggerated. Anyway, go ahead.
Do you have any? Is there any art or a book in particular that that you maybe were feeling under the weather when you got, and because of that, it may have hindered it may have changed how you felt about the art, or when you look at that book, it takes you back to that day when you were sick, or is it just me?
No. Let me switch this over here.
I mean,
see down behind Roland Man is a copy of. Let me see if I can move them out of the way. Probably not. But down behind Roland Man, between Lois Lane and Miracle Man, there is a copy of Walt Disney Comics and Stories that has Pinocchio on it. That's got Scrooge and Donald looking through the telescope. That's a very important book to me because my dad actually bought me that book when I was sick.
Okay.
At home, and that story, or the Donald Duck story in there, is the 24-karat moon story that I've talked about in the past. That really got me thinking that funny animals don't have to be funny and goofy. There can be a serious adventure story told in there, and that really got me looking at Bark's work, and it was essential, I think, in developing the Aniverse.
Funny books don't have to be funny, right?
What's that story? No, they could be adventurous. It's entertainment. That's the key, is the entertainment value. It was still a lot of humor in it, and Barks is very lighthearted and humorous anyway. But it was a really high adventure story of these guys racing to get to a moon on the other side of the moon that was made out of solid gold.
And so, but you remember? Can you when you look at that book, you still go back to that day?
I do. Yeah. Because it was one of the few, and not to sound too morbid, but it was one of the few happy memories I had of my childhood. Not the fact that I was sick, but the fact that my dad was actually concerned enough to buy me a book.
Yeah. See, for me, there's a particular book. It's an X-Men book, and I wish it was Good Feelings, but I remember being sick when I got it, and looking at the art and saying, "Who drew this cover? Who?" Oh, this is awful. And I remember looking at the name and saying, "This guy, I can't pronounce his name. Is he someone's cousin?" I was young, but I knew people. I knew nepotism even back then. But I didn't know the name for it, but I knew it exists. And it's weird because that artist has sent me a Facebook request, and it's weird. It's like, again, I'll talk to you guys after the show about it. But it's that art, but I still have that book. When I pull it out, I'm like. I remember being sick. I remember feeling the way I felt. Dreadful. It was horrible.
Yeah.
You talk about. I don't mean to shift the subject here, but you made me think about this. You talk about changing attitudes of artists. I didn't like Kirby either when I was a kid, and it wasn't until I discovered this book. Now, not this actual book, but it wasn't until I discovered this book,
Commandy,
Commandy, that I began to really appreciate Jack Kirby. And just what he did on it. Of course, now I own this little treasure here, which is just fantastic.
Nobody can deny.
Art. Oh my goodness! You want to see some gorgeous stuff?
Wait a minute. Let's blow that up here. Give me a second, Roland, to get over to you. There we are. Right there. Boom.
Yeah, this is just some gorgeous stuff, and
Mike Royer, I believe, was inking during that time, or Thurbo. Pretty sure it was Royer.
I don't know. It was
just amazing work.
It is. It's just fantastic stuff, and this is one of those books that I'm like, how did I come into possession of this? This was a gift from a friend at DC, so But yeah, this is amazing, and Commandy though was the book for me that made me
Gorgeous.
have an impression, change my opinion of Kirby.
And
But,
nobody can deny how great that illustration of the Statue of Liberty is.
Oh yeah,
Just phenomenal, just breathtaking.
I keep this in one of those little boxes, and So
I wish I had that that same style. They kicked one out of Simonson's Manhunter.
Oh yeah,
I would love to have that book.
Yes,
I didn't catch it when it was out.
Oh, and they're expensive though. That's the thing, is that they're just I would like to have Simonson's Thor.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love these. I don't know what they're called. They're called the artist edition. Yeah. There's a handful of them that I would really like to have.
IDW did a huge amount of them.
That
style.
Nice.
That's why I like the Essentials series that Marvel used to
the
run.
black and whites.
Because it isn't as great a format. It's smaller, but it's cheaper. And you can still pick them up secondhand. I'm kind of running through picking as many as I can up. And they're all in black and white, and they're all just gorgeous.
These Conan books. Like I am shocked that they're not, like, they're out of print. You can still find them, so that's not really an issue. But when we're talking about accessibility, like, I am just shocked that they don't put these out.
Yeah, it's like, why not?
And I believe Dark Horse was the one that kicked those out when they had the Conan license too. That's why it's so it's a good thing, or so important for our listeners and fans out there to actually hit those retailers and go through those boxes, like I said, because you never know what little hidden treasures they've got there. And most of the time, those retailers haven't gone through and repriced anything in about a decade or so. So you can still catch things at a real low price.
Yeah.
So there's some good reading to be found in those old, especially those old black and white magazines. They don't get enough.
And you've done that when they ring it up and they go, "What, this? Oh." It's like, man.
Randy, I know a lot of people weren't here when we brought it up last time. But I did some checking on it, by the way. The canvas I found, the reprint canvas of Kirby. That is Kirby. That is Kirby. This one here.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, that is Kirby art. It is colored with modern.
It's somebody in Photoshop massacred that piece.
Yeah. And
you can tell how much it takes away from it.
I just seen it and I thought about, I should bring that back up. And something it's weird. There's something in me that wants to go buy it, but then I'm like, I can't bring myself to do it. What am I buying this for? But yeah, it is. It's on sale for $21. So. But
that's an expensive fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do like the art. It's weird. I can see past the coloring to the art, and but I will admit take something from it.
Yeah. Back when we were talking about how you classify yourself, Marv goes, now we have comic book blast animators, right, Daphne?
I don't even know if they call themselves animators. It's like,
are they blasters?
What do they call themselves? Comic book designers.
Designers. Good morning, Indie Volt. Good morning, Meredith. I sent you a link. You're welcome to come in anytime.
Hey, Meredith.
Even though we only have about a half an hour left in our 2-hour program. Meredith Logren, thanks for the follow. From Jake, Stu says, as a logistics analyst, I can assure you Utah is mountain time.
Yeah.
Thanks, Stu. Still a little behind in the chat. Russ's time zone is way out there.
He's in the future.
He is in the future.
Meredith Martin, he is.
I did a draw stream in the middle of the night, actually, with Dan Frager.
Sweet.
Fragaboom.
Fragaboom. What an absolutely lovely fellow he is. And there were a whole bunch of lovely guys on there, actually. And I managed to draw a Doctor Strange for that episode.
Awesome.
And it was really, what was great was we were all so different. Everybody that was on there drew differently. Mm-hmm. And you had all these different versions of Doctor Strange. And it was a real, it was kind of like a microcosm of the comic book industry, nice. when it was good.
Go back and look for that. Yeah.
I've got the image. I'll pop
How long ago was that?
Well, it would have been while I was still in campaign, I think. So
Just last week?
Yeah, 6 weeks. 6 weeks.
That was
something like
last week.
Yeah, no, I'm in demand now. So they say. There you go. Let's just share the screen. There it is.
Oh, yeah. Look
Oh,
at that.
nice.
So,
That is sweet.
So we did that. I managed to do that in, I suppose it was a 2-hour show.
Really?
Yeah.
Sweet.
What's up with that rune-like R you have there, sir?
Are you talking about my signature?
Yes.
Oh, right. Yeah,
I love
I just flipped it.
Yeah, I love
You've got to find something, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've got to pick yourself out some way. It's Russ Leach is kind of a boring name, but the RL looks okay like that. So
I used to put the date of the year and then four dots behind the year. And finally, someone came to me and said, "What's the significance of the dots?" I told her, I'm gonna add a dot for every year that I draw, and eventually I'm gonna get higher and higher. And
pretty soon you're stippling like Frank Bellamy.
Page full of dots.
Yeah, my signature is
I think we all go through a dot phase because I went through adding dots at the end too.
Yeah,
I went through that too.
Yeah, I think my signature, like sooner or later, my signature is going to require its own sheet of paper.
Yeah.
I very quickly cut it down to Zim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when you're signing a bunch of books.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't know my wife will draw things, but now she doesn't know what to do with her name. Like she used to be able to put like like her name is different now, so now she's like it's destroyed her signature. She's like, I don't know how to do this anymore. What's it? Why do you have such a weird last name? Ugh, Grant. It's one syllable.
There's one Marco Rota comic of Donald Duck that gets me every time. I got an album-sized copy of it with gold embossment this summer. Sweet. Yeah, we all have our favorites. All that have those stories that stick out in our head that will carry with us the rest of our lives. I get misty-eyed because it reminds me when I'm 5 and at my dad's. Yeah. Marv says, I'm losing connection again. If I can't see the rest of the show, I'll watch it later. Be safe and keep being awesome-tacular.
Ciao.
Thanks, Marv. Take care, Marvy. Stay safe. Take care, Marv. Almost here at the end of the chats here. My local comic shop tried to sell me a copy of Heavy Metal for $40 because they always check scalped prices on Amazon. Yeah, that book's worth $40. Yeah,
no, it's not worth $40.
Only to the person who wants to pay that much.
It's like the people who go on eBay. It's like, oh, but it's worth this much on eBay. It's like, no, worth and what it actually sells for are two different things.
Yeah.
We actually had a collectibles shop, and the key word there is had a collectibles shop here in Flint that would go in and buy collections, and then the guy would sit on eBay and find the highest prices and price that book and stick it on the shelves. And then I stopped going in. When I'd go in and go, those prices are all off, dude. You're way too high for the condition that the book is in, let alone what the actual book is. You really need to do a little bit more research. Except he just brushed me off. I mean, I get it. So
it's like the people who tried to sell all their Disney VHSs for $1,000 or something.
Oh man.
It's like, because this guy's selling it for he didn't sell it for $1,000. He only has it on eBay for $1,000.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you look on the sold thing, the sold tab, and then you find out that all these VHSs are sliced for $1.
Yeah.
I got I basically got put out of a pawn shop because of that once. I was trying to buy something, and the guy's like, "Yeah, see, it's." I knew what listing he was looking at.
Yeah.
And I knew he would. And I said, "No, you're looking at one that someone bought that was working. This one, the one he had, wasn't working fully. Forget exactly what it was." But he's like, "No." I'm like, "Yeah, turn your computer around. Like you just turned it around to show me last time. Here's the username." I told him the username. I told him everything else, and he's like, "Well, do you want it or not?" No, I'm not paying that for it. No, and this is a pawn shop. I can haggle. Wacom tablets were always really fun to try to get from pawn shops.
Oh,
because they have no idea what they have, and or they do, and they think that they can. I think I bought the bought somebody a Wacom tablet, a friend of mine or something. They really needed one. I remember finding 12 and 15-cent cover Batmans and quarter boxes back in the early 80s.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, all those Kirby books that currently sell for $20-$30, I passed up in the quarter bins.
Oh yeah, yep.
All the time. I'm like, oh man, look at all this. Dave says, "Good morning, Dave. How you doing? Hope you're doing well." Hello, Dave. Mike James Bankston says, "Hello, everyone. Hello, Mike. How you doing? Hope you're doing well." Joe says, "Signature can be RL black belt like RL Stein."
Yeah, I could do that.
This is looking for some Christmas comics. Any thoughts of which ones I should get? Trish asks. Thanks for listening, Trish. Anybody have Christmas comics recommendations?
Definitely anything by Carl Barks. You know, the anything Uncle Scrooge always works.
And again, if you go back and search your retailer boxes and look for some of those old holiday treasuries, those are a lot of fun for the kids because those treasury books are extra large size. You'll probably end up paying $8 to $10 to $20 a piece for them, but they're 100 pages of holiday comics, and a lot of them are really good. So I think both Marvel and DC kicked out holiday treasuries like that at one point or another.
And don't forget, I can't think of the name of the book right now. I'm totally off of. Oh, he's gonna be very upset with us. We had him on the show. He does a Christmas comic.
Yes, I remember that well because it was a really good Christmas comic.
Yeah.
Oh, Bric-a-Brac.
Yes, Bric-a-Brac.
Ah,
Thank you, Daphne.
I think his campaign finished, though. I think
Bric-a-Brac, an amazing comic. It's one of those like Russ's
It's
book
a-
where you
it's a
go
literal
over and you look at it
comic.
and you see how professional it is, and you go, I gotta buy this.
It's a gorgeous book.
Yeah,
Bric-a-Brac is
Absolutely gorgeous book.
Yeah, he's in demand right now, so you can still go over there and grab one. I'm not sure.
Still available.
I'm not sure it's going to ship by Christmas. No, February 21.
Oh no, now it's too late.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But it's still a great Christmas book.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
Yeah. Amazing, lighthearted. Just fantastic stuff.
Yep. See, I remember stuff sometimes.
Mike says, I'm not sure what everyone does, but seen cool Doctor Strange and had to stop and check things out. Thanks, Mike.
Hey, thanks, Mike.
That was from Russ, by the way.
Yeah. Wow, Russ, who's available for commissions. Contact me for you got to pay me $50 and I'll open up the communication lines.
There you go. Roared.
Cool.
Signed, Harry and the agent.
Yeah.
But he actually meant to say word.
Hello.
Roared.
Hey, Dave. Roared. Word. Okay. Hyper Potato. Thanks for listening. Archie had put out some Christmas comic collections. Dan DiCarlo and Harry Lacey and some. Yeah. DiCarlo, again, another amazing workhorse whose work is still very underappreciated. I got all of Lock and Key for Christmas this year, but I like horror. Not exactly holiday themed nor for children.
So
but
see that,
I love it though. Thanks.
That's kind of what I was thinking when she's like, okay, what comics for Christmas? Not necessarily Christmas comics. Is that just comics for Christmas? I'm thinking, take your pick.
Yeah, comic. If you're buying comics for Christmas, which we do recommend, especially to the readers out there who aren't necessarily comic readers, you know what they like, what the person you're giving the gift to. There's a nice variety anymore of comics out there in graphic novel format, collection format that you can get for the people you want to gift to. So if you don't already have a Christmas gift for somebody, give them comics. Go out there and find those essentials. And I love giving away the Essentials and Showcase Presents volumes that I find, especially the ones that I know I really enjoyed. I've given away the Adam Strange volume and the Killraven volume to folks who don't necessarily read comics, but here's a very accessible character, very easy to get into, some fantastic stories, just a lot of fun.
And not to give any free publicity out, but there is there's a big box bookstore out there that sells those essentials. Big Marvel essentials, Books A Million, and then Second and Charles. Those big thick essentials are like $3.99, $4.99.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can definitely like pick them up multiple copies of different ones and 1 through 5 if you want, not even spend over $20.
Yeah, the local conventions around here have got a lot of retailers that'll set up with graphic novels for $5 a hit with a lot of essentials and stuff in it. Yeah.
Wow.
I was buying for a while there. I was buying a lot of archives for $10 a piece.
Yeah.
$50 archives until I started opening them up and looking at them and getting mad because it all looked traced. So somebody's been going through and touching up the artwork, apparently. I don't know, but it didn't look right. I got a 7 Soldiers of Victory volume. I'm looking through it and going, this stuff's terrible. Now I want to find a copy of Leading Comics to see if it was actually drawn that badly.
Yeah.
Jake says he suggests to get the 9-volt holiday anthology that is available, featuring yours truly, wholesome fun and PG-13. Jake's got a story in there.
Yeah, 9-volt holiday anthology.
Yeah.
Was that it? Oh, was that wasn't Lulu.com, was it?
I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it's available at lulu.com.
Okay.
9-volt holiday anthology. I'm sure Jake here will remind us. I'll probably get to his comment right before the end of the show at this rate. Thank you for sharing books. Good for next year. Yeah. Absolutely. Daphne Lage for the save.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey guys, good to see you all. Guano Guy Mark. Again, another great book. Guano Guy out there. If he's got a few campaigns he's got planned next year. Yeah, if you like humor.
It's good stuff.
Guano Guy's the guy. Sarah S., that series is dangerous to start on. I loved it so much I blew all my savings when collecting them. He's talking about Lock and Key.
Lock and Key.
Hey, Guano. Sarah says, hey, Guano. Guano Guy. Jake says, Sarah says, yes, Jake, great books. Looking for Christmas themed comics for younger readers, like 7-year-olds.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that
bric-a-brac, I believe, is for all audience. If you go into those retailers and pick up those holiday specials, DC even kicked out some digest size holiday books that you might look around for. They did Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer for quite a few years on a regular basis, and they've collected that into a digest book. There's all sorts of you'd be amazed, like I keep saying, what the retailers still have sitting there on their shelves that they'd be real happy to part with, especially right now, considering the year that everybody's having.
Yeah.
Terry says they have 5 packs of comics at Five Below. I plan on buying a few for gifts this year. The problem with the 5 packs is that you never know if you're going to get a continued story. And that might only add to the frustration for a lot of folks. What do you mean this is 3 of 6?
Yeah.
Again, another accessibility issue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Since it's getting towards the end of the show, I need to mention a huge loss in indie comics. Stu, we will get to that. So we'll get back around to that. Indie Comics had yesterday, my longtime collaborator and best friend, Ralph Griffith, passed away in his sleep early yesterday morning. I'm so glad we had the opportunity to be on Sunday Funnies back in October. Absolutely, Stu.
That was a good show.
We're still going to have you back on as well as soon as we can arrange that, Stu. Let me know when you're available to do that again on Sunday. Maybe we'll have Mark Bloodworth, and I know Jason Moore is working on getting equipment. There's still so much more to talk about Arrow. There's a lot more to talk about Ralph, and just a lot more to cover, and we're going to deeply miss Ralph. Empyrean Vol says yes. Says it is Lulu, absolutely. Yep. Fuck, wrong link. Anyway, Guano Guy says, Roland, glad you're doing so well. Don't smoke in your comic room.
That's right.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Guys, I want to say something too. I wanted to remind people. I know we're talking about buying collections of comics that you're really fond of.
Archie Holiday Digest every year too.
Yeah, they do the holiday book. Finance, like right in your checkout line sometimes.
Yeah.
I had a friend years ago. We would Top Cow kicked out a bunch of compendiums, Witchblade and Tomb Raider, and I am being summoned for some reason. What do you want? No idea. I'll find it. And this we had the compendium. I had them all, but I gave mine away because okay, you can have them. They were like $25, $35 at the time. Over years, you're like, oh, you can have this if you want it, or give me $20 for it. Well, a buddy of mine, his got ruined by his girlfriend. She dropped him in the water, and on purpose, she put him in the sink and turned the water.
Oh, come on. Really?
No.
He was very upset. He was very upset, but he recently went on to Amazon and he found the book. He found one of them for $500.
I sincerely hope you missed an X in there somewhere. Ex-girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
His ex-girlfriend.
She became an ex years later. She became like
years later.
Like 2 years later, she became an ex. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, what's sad too is not to sidetrack, but I recently sent out some original artwork to a guy who specifically told me that I had to send it to his job. That's why it took him so long to get back to me, because if it gets sent to his house, his wife will shred them.
Ooh.
And I'm like going, bro, really?
That's a shame.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. People.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was heartbroken.
I get Archie Holiday Digest every year. Rest easy, Griffith. Absolutely. Oh man, sorry to hear this. Empyrean, if you're not aware, we're probably closing in on our second hour. We could probably start bringing that up. Hey, Empyrean. These are horrifying tales of domestic abuse. Yes, they are. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, he bought the book for $500 on Amazon, and then the guy had like 5 copies of it, and then Top Cow just announced they're redoing the compendiums.
No,
you see, that's why you have to.
And they're all dropping now. All the ones that were on eBay and Amazon, they're all dropping back down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been an X in a second.
No,
yeah, really.
I mean, it says
not
absolutely.
2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you know what? That's not the only thing she's doing.
No.
I was glad she was gone.
That's just the thing that makes all of us go, oh!
Yeah. Just like all of the stories you hear about, I had all of these books when I was a kid.
Right.
My mom gave them away, or she burned them all one day. Or
right,
if you'd have said she kicked his dog, I would have said, what a horrible person, But she ran water on those comics. Oh no,
Well, not for nothing. If she kicked his dog too, it's like, yeah, you need to go.
I agree, but I would not have had the same visceral reaction.
Yeah, it's not the only thing.
Do you know how many editions there are in the Vader Down series? I'm thinking of collecting some of the Star Wars stories. No idea.
Yeah.
Get the original. Get the original in a reprint. That's what I would suggest.
Yeah.
Get the Star Wars stories from the 70s.
Here's missing an axe on that girlfriend. Well, let's not go there.
Yeah.
So we don't wish that at all. We don't wish violence on anybody, no matter almost anybody. Yeah, how bad they are. So, washing out your collection like that is pretty bad.
Yeah, the dog's going to get over it. The comics aren't.
Anyway, we are closing out, or we're heading towards the top of the hour, and like Stuart says, we do want to make mention that Ralph Griffith did pass. We had him on the show back in October, talking about him and Stu, talking about Arrow Comics. We're going to miss him dearly. He had a lung problem that they couldn't repair, and they told him he had a few months to live, and he faced it incredibly bravely. So passed away in his sleep Friday night. We heard about it yesterday, and we're all going to miss him very much. So if you haven't read any of those Arrow comics, like The Realm, that's behind Daphne right now, should try to look for those, pick them up. Ralph left a long legacy of books that he worked on, wrote for many years. I was privileged to publish the Dark Oz series and The Dead that he co-wrote with me, and like I said, we're going to miss him dearly. So, and how do you like that for bringing down the Sunday Funnies program? He would tell us not to do that. That's what he would tell us.
I mean, on the last show, he would talk about the Realm babies. Yeah, and I just want to say that it's like, if it wasn't for this book and the work that he did on it, and with with Guy Davis. Tall Tales wouldn't be the book that it is. The work that I do wouldn't be the work that it is. Mm-hmm. So, I owe a lot to this book. You know.
Well, there's definitely a mark there because I don't think Walking Dead would be what it was
Yeah.
if him and Stu hadn't done Dead World. I think that there's a lot of influences there. It's all a big string of dominoes. Actually, one person does one book, it influences the next, even subconsciously up the line. Because Kirkman will tell you, I never read those books when they were out. Never. Even though he was 2 booths down from us selling Battle Pope at the time at the shows.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But Ralph and Stu's Oz books are still available through Caliber, still available on Amazon. I believe there are Realm collections also available on Amazon, though I could be wrong. I'm not sure exactly what Caliber has up there anymore, and if not, that they definitely should. I kept telling Gary when Gary Reed, when he was alive, that they needed to go through and find an anime style colorist to do the Realm, especially Guy Davis's work. And to pop those out in color because nobody would recognize the work, and it would seem like brand new material to them. And the Realm, Dead World, the early Arrow stuff, especially all of the stuff that Ralph and Stu did are very timeless, and the majority of that work still holds up incredibly today. You know, so it's well worth your time to go out and dig up the Oz stuff. Wonderland, I got to print that Ralph and Stu wrote.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I'm gonna miss Ralph. Definitely popping into my Facebook messages when I say something wrong on the show.
Now he was a regular contributor to the chat too, all the time. He was up there.
And if I said something wrong and he knew to be wrong, he would. If he didn't catch the show live, when he did, he'd message me later and say, "Hey, you said this and it's not true, and I'll blame it on you being young."
We always blame it on you being young.
Yeah. And he's like I'm definitely gonna miss him, and it took a lot of wind out of me yesterday when I found out that he had passed away. So we're gonna definitely miss him here.
Yeah, we knew in advance. If you get up on his Facebook, he says a nice goodbye on Facebook because he knew his time was limited. But again, don't really mean to bring everything down.
If there was a way to go, it's in your sleep. So
absolutely,
in the end,
yes.
He deserves his rest.
Yeah.
Yep. Looking back on the great show, you guys. Thank you. Sarah says, my older brother left 2 boxes of comics under the basement stairs when we moved from Windsor to Detroit in 67. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All those missed. Yeah.
Yeah. I got 2 boxes of comics ruined
on that girlfriend
because my mother put them under the basement stairs, and she had no care or concern for my books at all. So,
Via Candios. There's a show. This is now the Sunday Wake. Funnies can be put on pause once in a while. Yeah.
We got to pour one out for the homies.
Don't mean to, but Ralph was on the show. He was a regular contributor to the chat. Longtime friend.
Yeah. Steve says he encourages everyone to share the stories of Ralph on his page for all of us to enjoy.
Absolutely, Steve. Thanks for listening. Don't get misty-eyed, Randy. Respect the man's wishes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a funny story, Varian.
Yeah.
You're so right. Ralph would not want us bummed out. Nope. Thanks, Stu.
Unlike me, I want you guys to move on tremendous guilt.
Unlike you.
I want you guys to move on tremendous guilt for me. Guilt. If Lola remarries, I want you to hiss at the guy.
Much wailing and gnashing of teeth.
Yeah,
wailing and gnashing of teeth.
Yeah. Start nasty rumors about him. I want you to. I want you guys totally just to be distraught.
That Daphne Late, you crazy? I can't pour out 40 ounces while being a broke student.
Do what you can. Do what you can.
Yeah, do what you can. All right, Roland, tell everybody where they can find you.
Absolutely. You can find me on all of the social media platforms, Roland Man. I'm actually Man Roland on Instagram. Or is it Twitter? I think it's Twitter. But you're mostly going to find me hanging out with the Silverline crew, silverlinecomics.com. We have mystery boxes right now, which those will end on Wednesday, so I would encourage you to those of you who are interested in original art, which we talked about some at the beginning of this hour, each mystery box has 3 pages of original art in them, as well as some comics and some other fun stuff, some firsts for Silverline, including a signature book. Malibu did the signature books when I was there, and these were a big hit with fans. So we decided to decided to do these here. They're limited to 20. I don't know if you can see the little number right there. That we haven't numbered them yet, but they're going to be limited to 20. Even I won't get a copy of one of these. So we're gonna do them with with a different cover. But for this edition, this is part of our Christmas. This artwork is by C. Michael Lanning, Thomas Flormonti, and Roberta Conroy. So there's a couple of first in the box. It's kind of an auction style. Bidding starts for each box at $50. The last I checked which was just before we started the show, there were about 6 boxes with no bids at all. So still some open boxes. These make great Christmas gifts. We plan to ship them out in time to arrive for Christmas, as long as all the payment and everything goes through. But the mystery boxes end on Wednesday, and we're going to end those live on the Wednesday Wham, the Silverline stream. So find me hanging out at Silverline, wherever you can find Silverline, on YouTube, on Facebook, and on our website. So check me out there.
And what time Wednesday does your program start that closes out those books?
We start, our program starts at 9 p.m. Eastern time, and we're going to end at 11 p.m. We'll probably end the auctions around 10 Eastern time. And
you can find that on YouTube under Silverline.
Yep, YouTube under Silverline. Yep, Silverline Comics. Or the best place is the website is, if you want the mystery boxes, silverlinecomics.com/mysterybox.
There we go. And is there a link on the main page just in case they forget the /mystery box? Is there a link to the mystery boxes on the main page?
I can't answer that, but as soon as we end here, there will be.
So definitely, that's you're talking getting a hold of some great original art, incredibly cheap.
Yes, yeah, very cheap. And there's also I have some nice pieces that are extras. All the boxes have 3 pieces of art, right? And 10 of those boxes have artwork from the original Cat and Mouse volume. One of those pages is from Cat and Mouse issue number 1, which I don't have a copy here, from the original printed Cat and Mouse from 1988. I have 1 page in there, so you got a 10% chance to get that page. But we're also going to randomly toss in a page of Stephen Butler original art. One page of Stephen Butler art will randomly go into one of the packages. One page of Paul Pelletier art will randomly go into one of the packages. One page of Leonard Kirk art will randomly go into the pages. So there's going to be some extra things like that in addition to the other stuff you have a chance at getting. So good stuff, really sweet stuff. My three pages of art alone is worth that. Original art is worth that. So so this is really sweet mystery boxes, and I think whoever ends up getting them are going to be pleased that they get some fun stuff.
Cool.
Thank you for letting me pitch that.
Not at all. We're happy to have you on the air and happy to inform folks. Empyrean Vol says, I should have told Varian I loved him when he was still around. Oh, he's fine? Never mind.
There's a lot of people saying that. No, they.
I can still hear his voice sometimes.
Yeah. You listen very closely because they hear me complaining. Just send me a CBR link. I still love comics.
Stop doing that to yourself.
Yeah.
Russ, where can they find you and your books on tape?
You can find me on YouTube as Comic Book Black Belt. I have a channel there with all kinds of stuff, interviews, reviews, and art production processes. You can find me at russleach.com, comicbookblackbelt.com. You can find out more about the book at onlydeathcansavus.com. There is a link there that you can go to. The Indiegogo campaign is in demand. There is, if we've got a theme today, there is original artwork still available there.
Nice.
And the book will be published in January, so it will be getting out to people then.
And now is the time
That's
to
about
get
it.
that artwork before it
Yeah.
starts jumping in price.
Yeah, and if you want a horror book, I know there's a few people in the chat that were talking about horror books. You can find my book, Terminus at Fenton's Green, which is by Marcosia, and you go find that on Amazon.
Sweet, awesome. And we'll talk after we're off the air about you doing a cover.
Oh, right, yeah.
Here too, for the Revolt book. Daphne, how can folks find you?
Yes, well, if you're into fantasy comics, especially if you're fans of the realm, you can go to egoworks.com, egoworks.com, and talltalesonline.com, TAILS, where you can read both my comics for free online and sign up to get regular updates about my upcoming Kickstarters. And if you're also into art tutorials, demos, and the occasional rant and / commentary, you can find me on YouTube at Daphne Lage, Lage Art.
Cool. Sweet. Mr. Varian, where can they find you?
KYD_V on Twitter. You can find me panhandling outside my local Best Buy. And
that's what you get for buying a PS5. Buddy.
Yeah. Indievolt.com, ledg.us, Liberty Independent Entertainment Distribution Group, getting independent comics in stores. Definitely got a lot of big plans for that in 2021. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Varian Grant on Facebook, Last Call Comics, the guy with the furry hat on this show. Yeah, that's pretty much one place you can find me. I'll ignore you at all of them equally.
The head honcho of Indie Vault. Yes, there we go. Ignore you all equally. You can also look. Did you mention Liberty Distribution?
Yeah. Got a lot of books coming in there. Matter of fact, I just got an email that I need to actually go up there and put some stuff in the storage and rearrange stuff because it's getting quite. The warehouse space I remember renting is getting quite filled. So.
Smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
Goes. Yeah. And hey, everybody, you can find me on Facebook under Randy Zimmerman. You can find me under Randy Zim on Twitter. I don't twit very often, but you can find me over there under Randy Zim. I also have the Zim Geek channel on YouTube, ZIMMGEEK. Feel free to go over there, like and subscribe. And while you're over on YouTube, feel free to pop over at the Indie Vault channel, like and subscribe that as well. And we're going to be back Tuesday evening at 9 p.m. for the Indie Vault Livewire podcast. Again, Wednesday night at 9 p.m. for Geekgasm with Daphne and Meredith Logren, and hopefully an appearance by the Indie Princess herself. Thursday morning, we'll be back at 9 a.m. for the Breakfast Buzz, where Varian and I, again, will try to caffeinate ourselves and talk about comic news of the day. And then once again, Sunday Funnies next weekend at Sunday at 9 a.m. We'll be back here, and all of those times are Eastern. So please adjust your clocks accordingly. Varian, do we have any last minute radio numbers?
Let me see here.
Crank it up.
39,745.
39,745. We appreciate all of you. What's the big country of origin today?
England.
Woo-hoo. It is. That's just because Russ is on.
Russ's entourage.
There we go. Russ called all of his friends.
Yeah.
They're all listening.
Sorry. No, that's up to one.
Jake says, thanks for hanging and happy holidays. Guano Guy says, glad to see you guys. Have a beautiful day, you too, Mark. Absolutely. Again, that's Guano Guy. I believe it's in demand, still on Indiegogo, I hope. If not, then you should definitely look it up and check out his books. Very good. Great stuff. I think that's it. Do we have anything else?
No, that's it. Are you running the one card or?
I'm going to run. Actually, Scott Rosema sent me or posted a great thing on my Facebook that I hope he shares over on Ralph's page, talking about his memories of Ralph and discovering Ralph, Arrow Comics, and that through. I had the pleasure of printing Scott Rosema for a while on the third version of Arrow Comics. Arrow Comics is back again. We're bringing back Arrow Comics, and we're going. The first book that we're going to do is Indie Vault. We're hoping that the story that Ralph was working on before he passed will definitely be part of that. We're hoping. I'm not sure where it sits or what the position, how much of it still has to be done. I do know he was working on a story for us at that point. If not, we will definitely try to get something of his in there and the book will be dedicated to Ralph as well. Ralph set up at a number of our conventions over the years. He set up all over the Michigan area and sold comics, loved writing comics, loved being a part of the industry, and we're all better off for having known him. So
Yeah,
we wish him the best.
Ralph, he sold me a copy of the Dead, cover price. Cover price.
But
And,
for you, cover price.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. Right, everybody. This is the Sunday Funnies for December 13th, 2020. We deeply appreciate you listening. We love you all. We wish you the best. And we're going to go out the same way that we came in, I believe, unless you think we should end it Indie Volt style.
Yeah, I think it's only right there. I think he'd want us to end it Indie Volt style.
All right. Let me swap that around here very quickly.
Nitwittery.
The same kind of nitwittery. Absolutely. There we are. Okay, we're going out Indie Volt style. We wish you all the best. Stay healthy, everybody. Be good. We'll see you Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or next Sunday for the Sunday Funnies. We deeply appreciate you all. As we're going out the door, Stuart says, I'll be turning that script over to Mark and Jason tonight. Awesome, Stu. Thank you very much. Good to know. Rogue Artistry says, hey, guys, sorry for going MIA. Pops passed. Had a tough time getting back up to speed. R.I.P. Big Ralph. Yeah. All right.
Ro was saying his father passed.
Ro was, his dad passed. Yep. All right, Rogue, sorry to hear that. Condolences to you and the family. Condolences to Ralph's family. And we will see everybody down the road. Take care, everyone.
Godspeed.
Any last words? Godspeed.
That's done, yeah.
See you on the other side.
See you soon. Take care, everyone.
Yay! Think about what you've accomplished.
I hope you're having a nice holiday season. I really do.
You bunch of losers! You're working with a professional here!